now, can't you? Okay. Jesus, man, I had to log on and re-log off. I'm so sorry about that. I wasn't able to hear Charlie, and I knew if I couldn't hear Charlie, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do what I wanted to do with this thing. So I missed out on that. We're all following Charlie. Like I notice I'm there every day listening to videos, and maybe me and a couple of other people. But I try to listen every single day, and I've been inspired by what this guy's saying, and I hadn't watched all 250 episodes, but I've watched a lot of them, and I know that 250 episodes, if I were to go listen to each one of them 30 minutes long, a couple minutes here and there, that I'd learn a lot about you. But thumbnail it for us. What? Tell us about Charlie Greer. Is he a musician? He's an artist? Is he both of those? Where's Charlie Greer right now?
All of the above, man. Right now I'm in my 50s. In a few weeks I'll be 52. I have lived an artist life for most of my life, all my life. I lived in California for 24 years. I moved back to the Midwest like a year ago, almost a year. And I get people are plumbers, people are whatever, insurance salesman. I'm an artist. It's tough. We're living through this creative dark ages, so it's really tough on artists.
Well,
and thank you for everything you said earlier. Thank you.
Well, yeah, you're welcome. And hey, look here. I know I've helped promote bands and stuff, over the last couple of years. And man, when it got down to 2020, all the engagements pretty much shut down. And I knew a couple bands, and I supported them even afterwards. They were started making cut boards. They got together, and some of them were carpenters and stuff, and they did that. And then of course there's all kinds of people that have done different things, but 2020 on, man, it's been hard. It's already we're trying to burn down universities out there, but it's been really hard on artists specifically since the whole pandemic thing, right?
It always is. Artists, see, this is the thing about people remember artists. They remember Van Gogh. In 1890s, Van Gogh is around, never sold a painting. They don't remember the mayor, the sheriff, or the governor, or the president, whatever the hell. Nobody knows. They know Van Gogh. They know, William Burroughs. They know Charles Bukowski. We need the arts. And I'm not trying to say that I'm any of those. I'm not trying to put. I'm just saying that, we're in the creative dark ages. People like me that, I create. I'm an artist. I do, again, I was in a band. I was in we can start off talking about the bands. I was in my most popular band was called Love Engineer. We released an album in 1992, and we were big around the Midwest. And we opened for Tool and Prong and Enough's Enough and all the, just every band you can ever, playing state fairs or whatever. And then in March of '98, I moved to Los Angeles because I studied theater. I studied acting in Champaign-Urbana. I was living in Champaign-Urbana. Levanger was from Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, like a college town. I studied theater there at a Parkland College. It's a junior college, and moved to St. Louis in '94. I was still in Love Engineer. I tried to actually quit, but we had a booking agent out of Chicago, and we could advance. So I had to do another year of gigs. But yeah, I lived in St. Louis '94 to '98. In that period, I was running my grandfather's antique store, inherited part of the corporation. I had to learn all this shit, all the while doing my art, and also under that, as an artist, under that umbrella, let's say, I do music, painting, acting, writing. I like to dip my beat, and during that period in St. Louis from '94 to '98, I got a commercial for BC Powder that ran for 2 years. I made a movie. I auditioned for Uriah Heep and Cry of Love and all these crazy bands. Moved to LA in '98. Just again, it's usually people stay around where they're from. Well, that ain't me. I was born to wander. Now I'm mellowed out a bit, but I was full of piss and vinegar, man. I've crossed the country so many times and lived in Hollywood for ever, proper Hollywood, literally in Hollywood, across the street from us, Paramount Studios for I was there for 24 years. I lived in Venice. I lived in it, but I was lucky that I got to see old Hollywood, the late 90s when everything kind of started disappearing. I got to see it for those last couple years and run the streets. And if you're gonna run streets, the Hollywood streets are the coolest. Granted, you got to know how to fucking hold yourself, and but they're the best. But then you figure out what's really going on, and you get to certain levels, and you can't get through that barrier. You can't get through that executive kind of weirdo shit that goes on, and that's what held me down. So in a nutshell, that's what's going on. I have a podcast, Charlie Greer Podcast, and I'm concentrating on my podcast. I'm just talking, but I gotta censor myself though on my podcast. I really can't do what I want to do. I can't say, but it is what it is until I can get the support or the. See, I'm not monetized. My podcast is not really that popular, but I want to get my own website and server. I want to get off YouTube. I want to be able to kick the reel. I want to tell the truth, but I can't. Again, I'm not that popular. I mean, I have cool people that like me, but granted, I have like 100 subscribers or something. Like, I'm not even,
Well,
but it's what I do.
They just haven't discovered you yet. So now, let's talk about the musical stuff. I mean, because I know our time is limited, but I want to dig a little bit deeper with that. I know you showed me a couple of songs there. One of them that was, it was just rocking. I mean, that was some good music.
Thank you.
But I don't, I found a couple of other ones, and when I did a little searching out there on YouTube, you can find some of those bands and stuff that you've mentioned there. But now, tell me about your music. How would you describe your music? Some of our initial conversations, you didn't really like doing covers, and of course, any real musician does it. But every lead singer knows you got to sing somebody's stuff sometimes. But
Sure.
Tell me about your music from the way you describe it.
Well, Love Engineer was like a heavy band. We were tuned to standard D, drop D. We had walls of amps. We used non-master volume amps like Sound City or Sun City, whatever the fuck they were. Sun, and I think it was Sound City, like these old vintage amps. Just crank them, And we were a heavy band, and I was just a lead singer in Love Engineer. But then when I went solo, did my own thing, it's basically really simple 3-chord rock and roll. I always had a 3-piece, meaning I was singing, playing guitar, a bass player and drummer. I had a revolving door policy for my band because I couldn't keep a solid. I think for 15 years, I think the most gigs I ever did continually with the same people was 12 gigs, and everything else you just get and do. Chuck Berry does it or did it. Johnny Thunders used to do it because I couldn't afford. In LA, there's so many opportunities, and I used to do a lot of rehearsal, and I'd pay for it. It's my band, I'd pay people literally in Taco Bell, gas money, girls, come to the show, whatever. They wanted to be in my band because it was the goings on. It's an LA club scene. It's all that. If you want to get a girlfriend or a better job, well, get in Charlie Greer's band. And but while I was doing that, I'm a published author. I have a book out called Rant of the Madman. I own the movie rights for that. I've written scripts. I still have a producer, Niles Buckner, who's in Los Angeles, and we have a couple scripts that we've been working. In the '90s, he almost got us optioned one of my scripts. He rewrote one of my scripts, so that's kind of going on too. But that don't pay the bill. You know what I mean? Again, street cred and all this artistic shit. You have to really buckle down. Right now in my life, I moved to Illinois. It's been tough financially. Even though I'm living in a cheap place, it's just that I can't do the things I could do. I'm in a small town in LA. It's easy to go out and just get art shows or sell some art or flip some cars or sell guitars or what I mean, teach vocal lessons. But here it's just been But I needed a place to kind of mellow out, start my podcast. But it's time to mosey on. I mean, again, I'm concentrating on my podcast. I'm trying to be as honest as I can, but unfortunately I can't because I'm on YouTube, and that's holding me back. I mean, it's, and I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm grateful for my podcast. But I'm not that popular. I mean, it's just, again, I have honestly, I probably have the worst podcast in the history of podcasts. I'm not, I do get people. I've like dedicated followers, but it isn't like I'm, it's a lot for me to do it. I do it every day. I have to rearrange my life. It's tougher than I thought it would be.
Well, and specifically if you've done it over 200 days, I mean, that's a lot. And I mean, you said that you don't have the subscribers yet, is what I want to hear after that, because man, once you've got a lot of content there. That's some deep shit. And I went through and just listened to it, man. It sounds like you're a professor of something or the other. I mean, there's a lot of psychology, a lot of self-help things. You can tell that you've been a person you've worked on your ego over the years. You've recreated yourself a number of times. I would suspect being an artist, you'd have to. And so
yeah, that's what you do. As an artist, you have to reinvent yourself a lot.
Yeah, probably every 18 months, or probably 18 minutes. But I think your podcast is. I think you have something valuable to contribute out there, and I just don't think that you've got into the right vein yet. But I'm going to tell you, like you said, you're working on, and maybe we can help get your name out there. Just 10 more subscribers, and then 10 more somewhere else. But now, it would be, you just got to hit that. You just got to hit that thing. I haven't hit it yet either. We're just barely above you, like 460 something people, and a lot of it is because we cover true crime, and we're low for true crime numbers. But now, I admire what you're doing there. I mean, it takes a hell of a perseverance to just sit there every day. And I mean, you obviously prepare for these. I mean, how long you just sit down and rant, or do you actually make notes, or is it a mixture?
It's a routine. See, that's the thing. It's a performance. I know that sounds stupid, but I have to do this routine and I'll tell you exactly what it is. I thought I'd do a night podcast, but I need the most energy. I'm older now, so that's in the morning. So I have this routine where I get up, walk my dog, drink some coffee, throw some food in my gut, think about what I'm doing, prepare my mind what I'm going to talk about. I usually write it down in front of me, Sometimes I switch it up, and then I take a shower, and after I get out of the shower, within like 10, 15 minutes, I'm in front of the camera. I'm all fresh. That's my routine. You know what I mean? It's like, and to keep up, because sometimes I'm sick. I don't talk about certain things, or I'm hungover, or I'm, you have bad days or whatever. So you have to keep up that energy without being like a salesman, without being like, hey, like the morning, come on, like a DJ morning fucking zoo kind of thing. So it is, the hard part is making it look easy, be consistent, be like laid back a bit, Of course I cuss and smoke. I click that button that says it's not for kids. I mean, but I mean, but what I am is unique. There's nobody doing, I need better equipment, of course, but there's nobody doing what I'm doing. There's no editing. It's live. It's every day. I don't know anybody else that's doing what I'm doing without any of the graphics, without all the bell, all the smoke and mirror, just like, and connecting with people. I try to make it like I'm talking to an individual. Really hard to do, but I've studied acting. I know about psychology. I know about, I know how to, and that comes from honesty. You have to be dishonest with people, and that's what I'm unique at. Like, I'm just telling a story, but I'm also having this conversation, when in reality, I'm just sitting in front of a camera that's connected to a laptop, like Johnny Carson, David Letterman, like certain, you know what I mean? Like it's a and I'm not saying I'm like them, but that's why I have my intro, you know, well, there you are again. You know. So, because it's like, here's Johnny. Like, I know these things. Like, I know enough that, like, I have to repeat myself. I have to engage with an individual when I don't even know these people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I've ever met any of the, you know. That's the hardest part, is to be this friendly, charming. People can, because even people I know, they're like, were you talking about me? And I'm like, no, but I know I'm on the right track. I'm like, that's good, because it seems like it's a conversation. You know what I mean? Again, nobody's doing what I do.
No,
they're lockdown, or they've got like another Windows spawned or whatever. They're, you know, I'm riffing. I'm like a blues fucking guitar player or something. Like, I don't, you know. There aren't any awkward pauses, or, you know, it's brutal to keep that up. But I've studied acting, man. I've and again, it is a performance. I'll admit it. But I have to. But I can't. I got to pull it back a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. I mean, it's hard to explain. I want to be myself. You know, I'm not acting, but it is a performance. Because I have to relate to people. I can't just think I'm talking to everybody. No, I'm talking to that individual. We're connecting. We're you know me, I know you, kind of thing. Never met, but you know, you have friends like me. You know, people like, oh, I know that guy, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like everybody was talking about. They want to have beer with Bill Clinton or George W. Bush or whatever. They have that likability. You know, they're talking about things that we can understand. And, you know, what a lot of people can't understand where you're coming from. Of course, now, again, no, you have a very unique experience on the world. I mean, we were talking about this with Kid, and you guys. I mean, you know, whenever, like you mentioned it a little bit ago, most people never live within 50 miles of their own home where they grew up at.
Right.
And that's different, man. When you get up and you move 150 miles away, or 1,000 or 2,500 miles away, that's a different thing, man. When you set your tent down somewhere else,
it is.
Tell me,
and that's not, you know, again, we're not pointing the finger at people. It's not a good or bad thing. It just is. You know, like, people kind of, you know, roam. I thought I'd live in California the rest of my life, but after it's gotten bad out there. Hopefully, it's, you know, they're cleaning things up. Yeah, I couldn't, I wanted to experience things. People want to own things. I wanted to experience things. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I mean, I know it sounds selfish, but I wanted to, there's no other way. Again, some people are this and that and the other thing. I'm me. You know, I have to do what I want to do, what I'm gonna do. So, you know, I loved Los Angeles. I mean, I still do. It's not like it, but it, you know, it got bad. And there was bad stuff that kind of got, you know, prominent. Like, it was always there, but it seemed like it really accelerated. There's just things you got to do to get to certain levels, and I would never do it. But in the long run, it's like I was always respected for, you know, people know. So they, you know. And I'm also like 6'2", 200 pounds. I'm not like one of these twinks, you know, waifs or whatever, you know. I have a presence, you know. I'm usually the tallest person in the room. But I'm shy. I'm a shy person. But I'm not, like, I don't small talk with, you know, I read a lot, you know, it goes back to this performance. Like, again, I think I'm the only one that admits this too. Like, I'm doing me, I'm not acting, but I don't act out. Like, I'm not, when I'm at the grocery store, I'm not that podcast Charlie Greer. I'm not like, well, there you are at the checkout lot. You know what I mean? Like, I get slapped, you know, that's not, here I am again today. Like, they call the law on me. So,
I love that intro, man. That's cool. What about
Yeah, I thought that out too. Again, it goes back to Johnny Carson and David Letterman and people like that. Like it, I'm just, you know, thinking about this like a show. Like this is what I want to do. I want to do this full time, and I want to do it twice a day. I want to do, and actually, if people are listening, please like, share, and subscribe. Charlie Greer Podcast. If you want to support the channel, information's in the description for Cash App and Zelle. That kind of, I have to.
Yeah.
But I'm halfway monetized just through watch time. I've got like 2,000 hours of watch time. So I was notified actually this week that I'm halfway there to be monetized just from watch time. I got 250 videos. I mean, you would think, but people get like probably that 2,000 hours in one day, like a big podcaster. But for me, it's like, I just started in May. I started this in May 2022. I've only missed a few days. The first month that I started doing it, I have a stomach problem, so I had some health issues. But since then, I haven't missed a day in like 8 months, 9 months.
Hey, Charlie, there was a couple of questions that were out there. Of course, a couple of the women want to know if you were married.
No, I'm single. I'm looking for a wife.
Are you now?
I was a kid, man, but no, I'm single, man. See, again, I'm kind of an intimidating dude. I hate to say it, but like women are, I don't know, like the women that approach me are like older ladies. Like, oh my God, you're a cat. I'm gonna be honest. And then, I'm in my 50s, so everybody's married, or I'm an artist. I don't own a home, and so it's like, but yeah, I'm single.
Well, there you go. And okay, so now let's kind of. Well, you mentioned something the other day. I don't know if you have time to go into it or not, but you mentioned you had to do some physical recovery for a year. Was that tied to Los Angeles, or was that?
Yeah, I got jumped on Hollywood Boulevard for like 3 gangbangers, tapped me up. So I used to be like a carnival barker. I was on the microphone, like salesman on Hollywood Boulevard, like Hollywood and Orange, right at the corner there where they have like the Wax Museum and the Man's Chinese Theater and all that stuff. But in fact, if you guys know who Adam the Woo is, I don't have the night it was January 29th, 2018. It's one of his live streams on Hollywood Boulevard. There was like a movie premiere going on, Star Wars, something or other, I don't know. And he interviewed me. Matter of fact, it's his biggest viewed videos. And you'll see me on the microphone. You'll see me do my thing. And I like Adam. I know Adam. He'd come through and yeah, I got beat up. So I have a neck and back injury. I had to do a year's therapy. I'm still all crippled up, you know what I mean? Like, that happened when I was like 48 or 49. So you can't take that kind of beating from like 3 people that old. It'll get you. And they jumped me from behind. You just bad luck. There's like some Crips gangbanging fools. Yeah, it sucks.
Well, it sounds like you've not made a full recovery, but you can still. Can you still hold a guitar? I guess.
Oh yeah. It's instead of I'm in pain. I'm stiff right now. And I did get a settlement, but LAPD wouldn't work with even the store I worked for. Said the video cameras weren't. All the video. They said there was 1,000 cameras in that little area. None of them were working for some reason. And the LAPD, matter of fact, they didn't release the police report until a year after it was settled. I did get a small settlement, but nobody would work with me. So it sucks. It was I'm lucky to be alive. Honestly, I shouldn't complain because a mere mortal would have been dead. But I've been, I've been running the streets, so I knew, even when you're jumped from behind, you just kind of, and to tell you the truth, some of the employees I worked with and the tourists also got in the fight. It was a big fucking thing. It was glass shelves holding merchandise crashed, babies screaming, mom, women pushing strollers. There was like thousands of people around. Crazy, a big fight, blood. Um, you know, but in the next month, this happened like March 2020. Like the next month, or maybe even that same month, they closed us down. Like it was brutal. Like we got because of the the lockdown or whatever.
So now you mentioned the other day that you I think the way you talked is that you want to be able to the podcast is pretty big, and I mean if there's a way you could figure out a way to tie that into radio, man, that would totally be awesome there. But I don't know if you can do that.
Tie into what?
Radio.
Yeah, I'd be great on the radio, but I have no idea how to do that. I am getting some emails from like media companies that, but it's like they want me to pay to do some kind of, what I mean, like they probably want to like, hey, for, yeah, I mean, quite honestly, I would have thought my podcast would be more popular by now. Kind of heartbreaking to realize that, like, I understand, like I have my podcast is not popular, like nobody's listening. But I do what I do. It's therapeutic. It's for therapy. It's also for like entertainment. But it just it just seems like nobody wants to hear what I'm saying. And I get it. I mean, I'm older. But I'm not out there asking to be on people's podcasts. I've never done that. I don't promote. I'm horrible at promotion. I don't promote. I mean, that's what I mean. There is zero promotion. You just watch what I do, and that's it. I mean, so I need people in the back. I'm used to having like an agent or a gallery owner that reps me, or like representation, or an entertainment lawyer, or a producer, whatever it is. Because I can't do that. So that's what and I'm sure it'll be coming, but I thought it happened like quicker than it.
Well, I got you. I got a feeling it's coming though. I mean, you're just putting in way too much work for it too, and hopefully whenever you get things going, you mentioned that you may do like a couple of little sets here and there of music.
That's what I want to do. That's why I need support, because I want to start like a show. I want to be like every Friday night I perform like 5 songs. I want to be able to have more content, and I'm just gonna go live. I'm just perform by myself, or if I put a little band together, whatever it is. Again, I've plateaued, so I need to get out of my apartment. I need to move. I need a bigger place. I need a dedicated studio. I mean, that's what I need. I know what I sound like. It sounds, but that's what's happening. Unfortunately, I'm not that popular, so I'm not monetized. I'm monetized on Rumble, but Rumble, I get like 0 views, like because I set it up where it automatically like will put it on Rumble or whatever I did, and Rumble sucks. I mean, it's just I'm worse on Rumble than I am.
Yes, but
it's like a YouTube light. It's like YouTube shit. It's horrible.
Well, I mean, and like you said, it's really with this, you're mentioning a lot of things, and of course, Amazon and YouTube has so far put out a lot of artists out of business. I know a lot of people that go online to YouTube videos to learn how to play a song, or they'll have whatever you can get, but it's still not the same. I think Kid was talking about this earlier. There's a lot of times it's just face-to-face stuff is what's I mean, that's what a lot of people need. My kids went through this weird thing of back in the during 2020 and 21, no guitar lessons from outside sources, nothing for a year and a half, 2 years there. And it's a bummer, if you're used to being out doing things, man. It's just, and you get in that apartment, you got to break your cycle. And of course, every day you're getting up and you're doing the podcast. I think maybe you work some or something, but sometimes you got to rest your spirit. But I'm going to tell you, Charlie Greer, I think you coming back, bro. It's going to hit for you. You just got to, it's there. It's just right on the edge. I feel it. And of course, we you put a lot into it. I mean, I don't think that your effort that you put into your podcast so far is going unnoticed. It's just you just got to tie it to the right thing. It's very honest. Um, I mean, it may even be a part two to that book. I don't know, but there's a lot there.
Yeah, I wrote another. See, this is the thing. I haven't been paid for my book. I'm owed a lot of money for Brand of the Madman, my book. I've never been paid. That's why I quit promoting it and doing book signings. I mean, it's brutal. Like, I don't have entertain. That's what I mean. That's why I need attorneys, and I need. I need a lot. Even my music. I'm owed money from my publishing or from Viacom, VH1, the Discovery Channel, and I don't even know what they use. That's the thing. I don't. When I looked at, with BMI, with its publishing, and matter of fact, I haven't done it in a while, but when I used to go and I could log in and see what's going on with my song, and I was owed money, but what? Like, I don't have an attorney, and when I talked to attorneys about my book, they wanted like a $5,000 retainer, which only, they might not, I do own the movie rights, and I did pitch the movie rights, almost optioned the movie, but again, I ran into these corporate executive meetings where they weren't going to deal with a guy like me. They just that's why I need not even to be there. If I shouldn't even have shown up, but it's like if I had an attorney that they could, oh yeah, let's go have martinis. You make deals, but I was like, I was doing it all myself, like DIY, do it yourself, and I sometimes I would have representation, sometimes I wouldn't. The thing I do, and what the art I do in my book and this, that, and the other is kind of lowbrow and underground. It's uncomfortable for certain people. They don't understand, and I get it. You know what I mean? But there's got to be, come on, man. Everything, there's it sucks. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best, but it's just like there's certain things where it has nothing to do with your talent. You get into these meetings and they don't even speak about what you're even there for. It has to do with usually control. They want you to sign over everything. They want to put you on an itinerary, meaning like daily. They want to know what you're doing, and tell you what to do, and this, that, and that. No, I'm gonna fucking do that. So you get a reputation of, oh, he's hard to deal with, and then they talk shit about you, like, oh, he sucks, and but in reality, you just don't want to, and then they steal from you anyway. So it's hard to continue. I know why people don't want to do what I do, because you're just unless you're a rich kid or you it sucks. Unless you want to do like certain favors and join certain groups, and I would never do that.
Yeah, I think it was the day before New Year's. You talked about that, but now your New Year's speech there. I mean, it was that's what I call it, a speech, because it seems like you planned it out. I mean, but you had some really interesting things to say that day in terms of to looking at all these challenges that like you're talking about here, they're thrown in front of us there, but making your own way in this world. I mean, you've been doing that forever. And I know you're going to figure this out. You just got to get that right thing, that right fucking knob twisted somewhere. I don't know what it is, but it's there. So if let's just say that, and I know we're getting real close on time now, but I want to kind of go out of like the next 5 years. If you could define the next year, 2, 5, whatever. What would you? What would you do? We've hinted at having a website and such, but would you create video there and content and maybe like do a little show, like speaking engagements mixed in with music, or?
Yeah. I want to start performing again. I'll probably do live, like my own music. I've got enough originals to do like a 2-hour show or whatever, and I could do spoken word. I've been thinking about doing spoken, like getting back into. There's actually a lot coming. It's just that, again, I'm just doing everything myself. I thought that I'd be able to attract more people to go along on the ride, and I usually have, but I think it's because I moved to this small town where there isn't anybody. I live in this little farm community, I thought I'd be here for like 3 or 4 months. I've been here like almost a year. So that's coming, you know, get out of this town, and do more. Again, I want to start performing on my podcast, like just even if it's me and my guitar. And I want to, you know, interview more people. Again, I want to do a lot more stuff. I'm always going to do my format though. That just me in front of the camera ranting. I mean, I'm always going to do. That's why I want to do more. I mean, I know it sounds stupid. More. I sound like an idiot, but yeah, that's what's coming. Is you know, whether I get support or not, I'm still going to do it. I mean, you know,
an artist or someone super motivated, they're gonna do it. And I tell you what, I know we agreed to 30 minutes, so I'm gonna get off here and let you go on about your business, Charlie. But I would love to do a part 2 and 3. I think Kid wants to ask some questions as well, man. But I wanted to get this first thing out here. If you've not listened to the Charlie Greer podcast, get your ass over there to it. There's a link in the description of this video. Go right now and listen to any video, particularly that New Year's Day one. Out there is just absolutely beautiful. Go check out Charlie. Charlie, tell him goodbye.
Thank you so much, Brad. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, check out my video, my podcast. You know, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to support my podcast. Go to one of my videos, and the information is in the description for Cash App and Zelle. You can also email me. You can see my email there. And if you want me to, you know, email me and tell me what if there's something you want me to talk about. I'm open about that. I've done that. I've had followers that like give me ideas, and I want to involve, and I want to get people, you know, involved and connected with this little community that I have. And thank you so much, Brad. I really appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Charlie Greer, be blessed, sir. Good night.
You too. Cheers.
Cheers.